Every day, you walk into battles you don't even recognize. Your boss who undermines you in meetings. Your competitor who steals your clients. That toxic relationship that drains your soul. These are the modern battlefields, and most people fight them all wrong. They go head to head. They argue. They attack directly. And they lose. Every single time. Because direct confrontation is the strategy of amateurs. When you fight fire with fire, both sides get burned. Your reputation gets damaged. Your relationships crumble. Your energy gets drained. But 2,500 years ago, a Chinese military genius discovered something revolutionary. Sun Tzu realized that the greatest victories come without fighting at all. He called it supreme excellence, breaking your enemy's resistance before the battle even begins. This isn't about being passive. This is about being so strategically superior that your opponents defeat themselves. While they're playing checkers, you're orchestrating chess moves they can't even see. The 3 rules I'm about to share will change how you handle every conflict in your life. If you're finding value in this, hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Sun Tzu's first rule is the most devastating. He understood that the mind surrenders long before the body. This isn't about brute force. This is perception warfare. Reality becomes whatever they believe it to be. Your enemy's greatest weakness isn't their strategy. It's their need to feel certain about their decisions. The moment you plant seeds of doubt in their mind, their own thoughts become your weapon. Every narrative has multiple versions. The winner is whoever controls which version gets believed. Corporate takeovers demonstrate this perfectly. The real battle happens in boardrooms and media rooms. Before the first offer is made, they've already shaped how shareholders perceive the target company's future. They whisper about management failures. They highlight every weakness. They manufacture urgency. By the time they make their move, the target's own board is questioning their leadership. The acquisition isn't a hostile takeover. It becomes a rescue mission, a salvation story. This is psychological architecture. You don't attack their position. You make them abandon it voluntarily. When perception becomes reality, your enemy defeats themselves before you even engage. Rule number 2 reveals how to weaponize their own strengths against them. This gets darker. Building on what we covered, Sun Tzu's second rule is even more sinister. Make them defeat themselves through misdirection. This isn't about lying. It's about creating false patterns that lead to self-destruction. When your enemy believes they understand your moves, they become predictable. You feed them just enough information to make them overconfident. Then you let their own assumptions become their downfall. Politicians have mastered this art of strategic misinformation. They leak false strategies to make opponents waste resources fighting ghosts, while their real plan unfolds completely unnoticed. In business, this means creating false market signals. Your competitors rush to copy what they think you're doing. Meanwhile, you're executing your actual strategy in a completely different direction. The beauty of misdirection is that your enemies defeat themselves. You never have to fire a single shot. Sun Tzu understood a truth that separates winners from losers. The battlefield isn't just where you fight. It's what you choose before the fight even begins. Control the terrain. Control everything. Rule 3 is about environmental manipulation. When, where, and how your conflicts occur. Smart operators never fight on their enemy's turf. They create conditions where victory becomes inevitable. Think about every negotiation you've lost. Were you playing their game, by their rules? The home field advantage isn't just sports. It's psychology, comfort, and unconscious power dynamics. Your office, your timeline, your agenda, your rules. This is how terrain control works. But in the digital age, terrain has evolved. Social media becomes your battlefield. Reputation management isn't defense anymore. It's active terrain manipulation. Information flow, narrative control, platform selection. These are your new high grounds. When you control where the conversation happens, you control how it ends. Your enemies will always be reactive when you choose the battlefield. But there's a darker side to these ancient strategies, and you need to recognize when they're being used against you. But what happens when these ancient weapons are turned against you? When someone weaponizes Sun Tzu's strategies to manipulate your mind and control your actions? The first rule we covered was winning the mind before battle begins. Toxic people use this by planting seeds of doubt about your own judgment. They make you question your reality until you depend on their version of truth. The second rule was making enemies defeat themselves through misdirection. Manipulators use this by creating false urgency and manufactured crises. They force you into reactive mode, where you make emotional decisions that serve their agenda. The third rule was controlling terrain to control outcomes. Toxic people isolate you from your support network and information sources. They become your primary source of reality, advice, and emotional validation. So how do you defend yourself without becoming the aggressor? Document everything. Keep written records of conversations and commitments. Maintain your independent information sources and trusted advisors outside their influence. Remember, the ultimate victory is recognizing the game before you're forced to play it. Sun Tzu wrote, "To subdue the enemy without fighting is the acme of skill. But there's a level beyond even this. The ultimate victory isn't defeating your enemy. It's transforming them into your greatest ally. This is conversion warfare, where destruction becomes creation, where opposition becomes opportunity. Building on everything we've covered, this strategy operates on the deepest psychological level. When you win someone's mind completely, you don't just neutralize their resistance, you gain their resources. Their network becomes your network. Their knowledge becomes your advantage. Their influence amplifies your power. This is why Sun Tzu emphasized preservation over destruction. A destroyed enemy gives you nothing, but a converted enemy becomes a willing contributor to your vision. They work for your success because they believe in it. The ethical framework is crucial here. This power demands responsibility. Use these techniques to create mutual benefit, not exploitation, to build something greater than what existed before. The master strategist doesn't seek to dominate. They seek to elevate everyone to serve a higher purpose. When your former enemies become your most devoted allies, you've achieved something extraordinary. You've created loyalty that can't be bought, only earned through masterful strategy. This is Sun Tzu's ultimate lesson. True victory creates more value than existed before the conflict began. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button and subscribe for more forbidden strategies from history's greatest minds.